Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Luna here, see kind of what's going on, and hopefully help you understand a little bit about, hey, should we take some profits? Is it going to bounce back? What's going on here, right? That's the concept, and if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something today. If you want to learn more, of course, become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech. I teach you how to trade. I have a trading academy, I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we have an amazing community. In fact, the reason I'm making this video is for my community member that had just requested this. So thanks again so much for requesting that I cover this here. Now taking a look here at Luna, big picture, we've got a red day today. Big surprise, right? Well, it makes sense considering the fact that it's a bit on the overextended side, and yesterday it did very well contrary to how well or how poor, I guess you could say, Bitcoin is doing, right? So again, more profitable coins like this are gonna get hit a little harder because they're taking profits based on the fact that it's really one of the only money makers lately, minus Bitcoin's sharp increase on Monday and sharp decrease on Friday. So if you didn't long or short at the right time, it's just a complete mess. Everything just keeps hitting the reset button. Bitcoin is literally okay. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you know where I'm going with that. Anyways, taking a look here at Luna, let's go ahead and stick with the standard stuff here, right? Big picture, Luna's doing very well. We've had this ascending type of pattern, which is quite aggressive, by the way, but still ascending nonetheless, right? Still very good. Just note that in the past, Luna has done this before, right? It's come up pretty significantly, but it's also retraced pretty well too. And keep in mind, most of those retracements are based on the market conditions, but look at how well it's done in the past though, right? Like this is late December, and it started recovering in early January. Most coins took until March 7th, just a few days ago, to start actually making a push, right? So again, you got to understand Luna's a very good coin, a lot of good fundamentals there. The likelihood of it being held down for long is pretty low. So if we do retrace any further, I'd be surprised if it goes too far. But again, if it starts breaking this type of trend, essentially, this increased trend that we are seeing, then we want to basically kind of reevaluate things and understand where it's going to go from there. But keep in mind, it's testing its all-time high territory. Technically, we've got to close yesterday above at about, 100, I'm going to say 101. But today it's a correction. So it's pretty standard for that to happen. A lot of times the price will consolidate at previous resistance, create that as a support level, but we lost it as a support. So we got to understand that $100 is no longer a support level. We had that for a half a day, maybe, and we got to just look at some other alternatives and understand what's going to happen next. So that being said, we're up above both moving averages. We don't need to care about that. We're back under 70 on the RSI. I mean, we technically never broke that, which is good, but sometimes you want to break on a one-day candlestick to ensure that that becomes a support level. The fact that we didn't break RSI there kind of tells me that we kind of are going to continue to experience a bit of resistance at $100, but it's going to possibly be one of those scenarios where it's going to test it again. I think there's a good likelihood of that. And this could even be the beginning of a handle forming for the cup, right? Again, this is just a stretch. I haven't looked at the details yet, but a lot of times you see a secondary increase there, especially if it bounces off this key level fib of sitting about roughly $92. So as a round number, $92 is a point of importance. We can get a close above that, it's really good, and then of course continuation from there. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a look at the 4 hour and see what I'm talking about. So first of all, well, this is not a cup and handle. It kind of looked like it was forming on the 1 day, but you can see it kind of already had its handle attempt, right? The handle kind of failed, which basically just is synonymous with Bitcoin's lack of success recently, right? We had a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt pushed into the market 2 days ago. Luna tried to take off, couldn't, because we didn't have that consistency, okay? Again, I know it's like weird to think about this because Luna is, fairly independent of Bitcoin, but it's still reliant on Bitcoin. There's no other way around it. You cannot avoid the fact that every coin in the planet of crypto is effectively part and just connected to Bitcoin, no matter how you look at it. I don't think it'll always be that way, just because Bitcoin it's just the head honcho. That's why you always pay attention to what Bitcoin's doing. Regardless, I'm not here to educate you on that because I think you already know, but the bottom line here is that we're still in good shape, okay? Because we haven't lost the 50-day SMA on the 4 hour yet. That's fantastic. We're above all moving averages on the 2 most important time frames. That's extremely important. So heaven forbid the price were to come down, maybe test this here. We should likely get a bounce where that could effectively help us as a support level. It has in the past. Of course, again, it's never guaranteed. The SMA, I would say, is probably a lackluster type of support. It's never like as beneficial as key level Fibonacci retracement lines. But what it does, it kind of averages itself out at key level fibs, and a lot of times you can put that together. So the fact that we have the 50-day SMA working here effectively upwards and sideways with the price action trending right around $91, $92 is an extremely positive sign. So again, unless we get a candlestick close underneath 92 as a rough estimate, I don't think we have anything to really worry about. If it consolidates right here for a little while, that's perfect, because then it just gives us more ammunition to be able to leg up again. Okay. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and see if we can take a quick peek at the volume. I haven't looked at this yet. And as we can see, it's slowly ebbing its way up. This is actually perfect. I love to see types of volume, kind of almost like a half a pyramid. It's effectively working itself up with this wedge. So it's really important to be able to see the volume slowly tapering off as it gets higher. That basically means that we're kind of in potential price discovery, and the likelihood of it breaking higher than lower is definitely there. Okay. Again, we got to build a solid foundation here where we're at first, though, because we haven't spent much time at the $90 to $100 range yet. That needs to establish itself. People are kind of just as the RSI starts to kind of slow down or lower, so does the potential of the price to come back down. Okay, so again, really good stuff here. Ultimately, I don't see anything that's negative for Luna. We're looking pretty darn good in all time frames so far. In fact, let's see if we I didn't look at the MACD here. We do have a potential, well, it's not potential, it's definitely in full effect. We do have a divergence here. So how much further down will this go? It's hard to say. We could get another divergence similar to one we saw in late February, where it just kind of came down and peaked right back up again. It wasn't really a big deal. But we could also see this maybe last a little bit longer. So I would just, be careful and optimistic at the same time. In other words, if we lose 90, then I would consider dollar cost averaging. If you are considering taking a position to the upside, I would hesitate and hold off on that until we get further confirmation that the price is holding at key level supports first, and then maybe consider add to your position later. But at this point, regardless of the circumstance, I don't think it's advantageous to throw like everything you've got at this coin. It's a bit on the overextended side. It's definitely high, right? It'll go higher. I think it will. I'm confident of triple digits being the lowest point eventually soon. But it's not showing any signs that it wants to break out much higher. It's having some trouble breaking that key level resistance at 105 as a close approximate. So I think we're going to see some channel trading, just very similar to Bitcoin in a sense, between 92 and 104, and then or 105 rather, and then eventually see a breakout to the upside. It is still more likely to break to the upside considering we got this trend line that's effectively working very well. In fact, we can kind of line that up a little bit better, kind of go with that right there. So yeah, again, if we stay within this trend line, again, everything's kind of coming to a head. We got this support level here from Fibonacci, we got the 50-day SMA, and we got the trend line. Basically got three things telling us that we should probably want to keep our position open. There's no reason to close, okay? So if you haven't taken profits already, I just say go ahead and leave it alone. Add your position. I don't think it's going to drop much lower. If it does drop any lower, then the next lowest point it would need to go is to stay above $82. Because if it drops below 82 as a close approximate, we would no longer be making higher lows anymore, and that would be disadvantageous. Okay. So again, not terrible, not great. I would say we're probably more fair to middling. I would expect some type of consolidation. Just continue to add to your position if you'd like. Small portions at a time is recommended, and just ensure that we remain cautiously optimistic, because there is a chance it could come down to 82. There's no doubt. But the likelihood of that is much lower considering the three things that I just mentioned before, right? We got three nice support levels all coming to a head, and the likelihood of it staying sideways, if nothing else, above 92 is very high. Again, that's just what the technical charts tell us. Obviously do your own research and make sure that you are effectively owning your own trades, right? So just say you're part of my community and you're following the trade signals that I send, even though they've been very successful overall. I still want you to formulate your own decision making. That's the whole point of this, is to look at these things and to learn, just kind of get the eye for it. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, but take your time and try not to make a hasty decision. It can be easy to FOMO in, but fear of missing out is the enemy. Try not to do that. All right. Anyways, more rambling there. Sorry about that. I hope you learned something here today. Hopefully this makes more sense. If not, comment below or send me a message if you're curious, and we'll keep a closer eye on Luna here moving forward. But I think we're in good shape. I wouldn't expect a significant breakout. We very well could see channel trade between 92 and 105, and potential downside to 82, but I don't think that's as likely. If so, set a DCA target at $82 and maybe consider adding to your position now. I think a bit of both would be just fine. All right, hopefully you learned something again. Thanks again for your time. CryptoCache.tech is a site if you want to become a better trader. Looking forward to working with you. You have yourself a great rest of your day. We'll see you.